Check Your Health is sponsored by Intermountain Health and the Utah Department of Health and Human Services.
Dr. Jake Viegel is here with us in sports medicine with Intermountain Health, and we want to talk about recognizing and treating concussions, fall sports. It can really happen in any sport, or even driving down the road or walking and falling, but concussions are really scary for kids. What are some of the first signs? When somebody bonks their head, what are the things you should look for?
You know, it can be varied, but the first thing is that you just don't feel well, you have a headache. Sometimes people are just like, you know, I got my bell rung, I'm not feeling very good. Mm-hmm. The important thing to know is to let your kids know to speak up, because it's like, if the moment you say something, you're worried that you're going to be pulled out of the game.
Right.
So,
well, as a parent, you don't want your kid to be in the game
Certainly
if they're hurt,
yeah.
But the kid wants to go play.
Yeah.
So can they hide these? Are there symptoms you can visually see?
Eyes
dilated, anything like that?
Yeah, they can, you know, if you can see something, it's usually the sign of something very serious, and that's what's hard. We're relying a lot on what our kids are telling us. So when we do an examination, we ask very, questions that are a protocol. We ask them, we do a little bit of a test, we check their status and how well they're working. There are programs out there, computer programs that help us diagnose a concussion. The thing about it is if we think that it is one, we usually end up pulling them out anyways. And kids know that, so they don't want to tell us what's going on.
Right. So, and that's why I was wondering, is there something you can see? But you know it's for the kids' health. How can you get that across?
You know, you just have to tell them, you know, make it a very serious thing. And it has become so much more serious the last 15 years, too.
Because we know more
Yeah.
about the damage they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really it's protecting your brain. The football helmets do a good job sometimes, but they can still get a concussion.
They can, and if we were to say what is the most important thing you can do to prevent a concussion, helmets are helpful, but they don't really prevent. It's simply following the rules. So in football, for example, not tackling with your head, you know, going for the legs, grabbing them up, wrapping them up. Think about how a rugby player tackles somebody without a helmet, and they tackle them with their arms and shoulders, and not spearing in there.
Okay, and like I said, any sport, my daughter got hurt in volleyball, and the first thing she said, well, I don't remember, and it's like, okay, we're going to the hospital.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do to get checked, right?
Yeah, if you don't have somebody there on the sidelines, which in volleyball they often don't, then you need to get seen by somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's some good advice. We're going to put some of these symptoms and things to look for on our website. Go to KUTV.com and click on Check Your Health. Lindsay?
All right, thanks so